Today we're taking a look at section 3.4 on the conditional and related statements. We'll be working some even-numbered exercises from pages 114 and 115 in the text. If you're using the online text, you may want to go ahead and print those 2 pages before we begin. I'm starting with number 2, and it says, for each given conditional statement or statement that can be written as a conditional statement, write the converse, the inverse, and the contrapositive in if-then form. In some of the exercises, it may be helpful to first restate the given statement in if-then form. All right, number 2, we have, if you lead, then I will follow. That's the direct conditional. So in part A, they want a converse. Converse is switching the 2 around. If I follow, then you lead. The inverse is where we insert negation. So if you don't lead, then I won't follow. And the contrapositive is where we inverse the order, switch the order, and also negate. So if I don't follow, then you won't lead. Okay, number 6, milk contains calcium. So that would be, if it is milk, then it contains calcium. So that's one of the ones we have to reword in if-then form. All right, so we want the converse. That would be, if it contains calcium, then it is milk. So we're switching the order. The inverse in part B, we want to insert not. So if it is not milk, then it doesn't contain calcium. All right, part C, the contrapositive, we want to switch the order and negate. So if it doesn't contain calcium, then it is not milk. Okay, let's go to 14. In 14 we have, if not Q, then not P. Okay, so for the converse, we just want to switch the order. So if not P, then not Q. For the inverse, we want to negate each part, keep it in the same order. So that would be, if Q, then P. And for the contrapositive, we switch the order and we negate. So if P, then Q. All right, and one last one in this group. If this, then P. And our hint is to use one of De Morgan's laws as necessary. Okay. So, The converse would be if P, then R or not Q. The inverse would be the negation of R or not Q. If that, then not P. And this is where we applied De Morgan's law. That's going to be not R and Q. So we're negating an OR statement that becomes an AND statement. And we negate each part. So if that, then not P. Okay, then in C, we want to converse, we want to switch the order and negate each part. So it would be if P, if not P rather, then the negation of R or not Q. Okay, so if not P, then, and again, this is where we applied De Morgan's law. Not R and Q. So that one was a little bit tricky. All right, let's move on to number 20. In this group it says, write the statement in if-then form. If I finish studying, I'll go to the party. So all we have to do is add the word in. If I finish studying, then I'll go to the party. Okay, 24. All whole numbers are integers. The all part becomes the if part. If it is a whole number, then it is an integer. All right, 28, not 26, 28. Being an environmentalist is necessary for being elected. Okay, now the necessary one is one in which Q comes first. So the being an environmentalist is the Q part. So the if part is being elected. If he is elected, then he is an environmentalist. Okay, 32. No integers are irrational, so if it is an integer, then it is not irrational. Okay, and these ones that look like definitions, like 36, let's do that one. A parallelogram is a four-sided figure with opposite sides parallel. Okay, so if it is a parallelogram, then it is a four-sided figure with opposite sides parallel. Okay, now next we get to biconditional statements. And remember, a biconditional statement is true if the two statements joined by if and only if are the same truth value. So both true or both false. 41, 3 plus 1 is not equal to 7 if and only if, I'm going to use the short version, 8 does not equal 8. Okay, this one's true and this one's false, so the statement is false. They both have to have the same truth value for it to be true. Okay, Burger King sells Big Macs. Well, that's false. If and only if Apple manufactures iPods, which is true. So that one is also false. Both truth values would have to be the same for us to have a true statement. All right, the last group, two statements that can both be true at the same time are consistent. For example, it is green and it weighs 60 pounds are consistent statements. Statements that cannot both be true at the same time are called contrary. It is a Nissan and it is a Mazda are contrary. So let's take a look at 54. That book is nonfiction. That book cost more than $150. Certainly those could happen together, so that's consistent. Whoop, I'm not spelling very well today. Consistent. Okay. And we'll do one last one, 58. This number is a whole number. This same number is a negative number. Well, number can't be both whole number and negative, so that one's contrary. Okay, I think you have enough information now to go ahead and do the online homework for section 3.4.